Good afternoon. This is Kevin Gilmore from the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. This is your weekly weather briefing for Thursday, April 23rd. Starting off with the key messages of what we can expect for the next 5 to 7 days in terms of any type of hazardous weather. Up front, there is going to be the potential for a complex of thunderstorms coming in from the north Friday night into Saturday morning, where we could see some strong to locally severe storms. We have to also monitor potential for some redevelopment of scattered showers and storms during the day on Saturday. However, this is a low confidence situation we're closely monitoring and encouraging people to check back for updates. We're going to talk about drought conditions across the area as we still have some very dry conditions here and the need for some beneficial rain. And then we're going to be heating up next week. It may be hot out there today, but it is going to be potentially even hotter next week with highs reaching the 90s in a few spots. Then we have a front drifting close to the area around midweek, where we could have some scattered shower and storms returning back to the area. But how much rain we see from this will depend on how close the front gets. So it's something I'll have to keep an eye out for. And here's a threat outlook, kind of graphically depicting some of the hazardous weather we'll be monitoring for the next several days. There's your chance for some severe weather late Friday and early Saturday, and then your heat risk. Heat indices possibly reaching the mid to maybe even upper 90s in some areas. Could be some of the hottest temperatures to be felt so far this season, so keep that in the back of your mind there, especially if you have any outdoor activities. And then there's your rain chances, kind of breaking down that hit or miss chance we're going to see today. Also, that greater chance Friday and early Saturday. Could see some redevelopment Saturday afternoon. And then around a 10 to 30% chance here Sunday all the way through Wednesday. But a lot depends, like I just mentioned, where that front's going to be. And here's a little bit more detail about the chance for some showers and storms Friday night. As you see to the right there, that is model forecast simulated radar reflectivity. That is the models. That's what the model is doing to predict what the radar will look like in the future, and it's predicting it to look like that Friday afternoon and evening, where we'll see a lot of scattered showers and storms to our north. How much of that develops and evolves with time will depend on how much we get Friday night and Saturday morning. We may see a complex or a line of strong to some locally severe storms through the area. Again, primarily Friday night to early Saturday. Timing is a little unclear, but it's looking more like an overnight to early morning type threat. And how far that complex makes it into our area, it could either clip our area to the north and east, or it could just swing right through our area and give us all a lot of rain and storms. How far it goes into the Gulf will depend on what type of development we might see during the day on Sunday, or excuse me, on Saturday. So if we see a lot of storms develop on Saturday, that could be just because we cleared out and the sun came out and we saw that redevelopment. So something to keep in the back of your mind, we could be having actually multiple rounds of showers and storms for the next few days, even another one potentially Saturday night and early Sunday. But as we get closer to that, we'll be able to resolve that with a little bit better detail. So be sure to check back with us for more updates. And there's your threat outlook, showing a threat level 1 out of 5 or a marginal risk of severe weather for northern areas, basically highlighting the area of greatest confidence where we could see some strong to locally severe storms. But want to mention that areas to the south and east that are not in that risk area could still see a strong or severe storm. It just depends on how that cluster evolves with time. So definitely be weather aware, especially if you have plans Friday night and early Saturday. And then talking about early next week with the heat, just mentioned earlier, the temperatures will be getting back in the 90s. Some of the hottest temperatures we felt so far with the season. Heat indices in the mid to maybe even some upper 90s in some areas. As you see, everywhere in yellow is a minor risk of heat related impacts, but even starting to see some areas of orange. That's a moderate risk where we could have some impacts to those who are sensitive to the heat. So if you know anybody like that, or and they have plans to be outdoors, make sure they take the necessary precautions and drink plenty of water and take breaks in the shade. And then the drought update. There's the latest drought update to the left. Excuse me, the older one to the left and the newest one right there in the middle, showing you the changes we've seen in the last week with the new drought monitor. We've seen some expansion of drought conditions. That means the drought has actually gotten worse in some areas across southern Mississippi and the Florida parishes. But the D3, which is the worst area you see there, still hasn't, nothing has really changed with that. We're still looking for some beneficial rain across the area. Will be very helpful. Of course, we don't want it all at once. That'll lead to flash flood issues, but hopefully we can start to see a transition to a wetter pattern in the next few weeks, which will help with some of these ongoing conditions. There's a summary of what we talked about. Again, if you have plans Friday night and early Saturday, be sure to be weather aware, check back. Things could change, things could speed up, slow down. We'll be there to provide you with updates. And then, especially if you have plans Saturday afternoon and evening, we'll see where that storms potentially redevelop. We may have to kind of pinpoint where that might be. So, again, be sure to check back. Just mentioned there about the drought conditions, they continue to worsen. So, hopefully, we'll get that beneficial rain soon. Heating up next week with highs in the 90s and heat indices in the mid to upper 90s. And then we'll watch where that front ends up mid next week. That'll determine where we see shower and storm chances. Could see more waves of showers and storms, or just an increase in afternoon shower and storm chances. So something keep in the back of your mind as we get towards the middle parts of next week. And we'll end it there. Hope you have a great rest of your week and a great weekend ahead. Take care.